What's up, you guys? My name is Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reviewing Magnolia Parks. This is the only book that I got to on my June TBR because mental health is a thing and mine hasn't been very good. So I only got to Magnolia Parks. It took me pretty much the whole month because I would read and then I would stop and then I would read and then I would stop. And I just was not very consistent with my reading. But you guys, this book, I finished it last night around 1:30. Tell me why I had like literal pain in my chest from how like painful the entire story was. Like actual pain in my chest. Like I was hurting, like the same way that I was hurting over it if he had been with me, Finney and Autumn, BJ and Magnolia. Like hurt my heart. Okay, you guys, so I am reading Magnolia Parks. I am actually now on chapter 43. I am just about to start chapter 43. I think I'm gonna stop here for now because it is getting kind of late, but oh my gosh, you guys, look at all of these like tabs. There's just so much going on and I have so many thoughts on everything that's going on in here. I definitely want to do like a reading vlog. I'm starting this reading vlog. I only have 25 more chapters of this book because it is 65 chapters and I'm on chapter 43. So I have 25 more chapters of this book and I just need something to get my thoughts out, you know, because this book is so intense. Like, I don't know, okay, maybe it's not intense, but like everything that I'm feeling about the book is intense and I just want to like get it out, you know. So I also kind of want to like film what my reaction to the end of the book is going to be because I don't know where this story is going. I know that it's like a whole series and Magnolia has one other book and then Daisy Hates Us too. So I don't know where the story is going. I don't know what's gonna happen, but oh my lord, do I have so much to say. Oh my gosh, do I have so much to say. So much to think about too. So much that I'm like, can y'all stop being toxic to each other for like 2 seconds? But what I'm gonna say is that BJ is, in my little humble opinion, BJ is 10 times more toxic than Magnolia. And that's where I stand and I'm sticking to it. So what's good? No, but seriously, like he's like way more toxic than she is. And like okay, like listen to this. He says, she nods slowly. I did. Our eyes catch and the edges of her face go sad or soft. I hope it's sad. I want to fight with her. Feel the closeness I feel when we do. When we say the things that we shouldn't and go too far. The other night when she shoved my face away, it broke me, made me fly at the same time. Because she can only hate me how she hates me. Because she loves me how she loves me. Oh my god. He's so freaking toxic. He's so freaking toxic. And also the fact that, like, okay, seriously, I was actually rooting for BJ for most of the book. I have to be honest. I was rooting for him. I was rooting for him in Magnolia. I was like, why can't you guys just get together? Like, quit playing games, quit messing with my emotions, and just get together. Seriously, like, I was so like, why can't y'all just be together? But oh my gosh, when she walks in on him with that girl in the bathroom, or no, she's already there, and she's watching the entire thing of them in the restroom, I was like, oh my gosh. Well, okay, wait, I didn't really understand if she was already in the restroom or if she went in while they were doing it, but like, oh my gosh. When I read that, I was like, I cannot even come back from that. Like, and it's not even my relationship, but I can't even come back from that. Like, just the fact that he was doing that after he just got mad at her for going and hanging out with Tom. What is the reason? What is the freaking reason? And the fact that he keeps going to all of these things to deal with his emotions instead of just going and freaking talking to her. But he doesn't want to talk to her unless there's some like toxic like fighting going along with it. And that part is so freaking annoying. Oh my gosh, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. And honestly, whenever she finally like gets with Tom, I was like, ooh, girl, you're gonna regret that. I know you're gonna regret it. You shouldn't do it. You're doing it for all the wrong reasons. But at the same time, I was kind of like applauding her because BJ's been doing that stuff to her the entire time. Like, he's been going with these different girls every 2 seconds. Every 2 freaking seconds. And then this man has the freaking audacity, after Magnolia just caught them in the restroom, he goes and takes that woman up to his room and does it with her. And then Magnolia finds out because that girl comes out from the room. But I was just like, how stupid do you have to be to do that? Like, how dumb are you that like the one girl you love, as you say, who's your girl and all this, just saw you with that girl, freaked out, ran away, felt so in her emotions that she did something, that she got together with the guy she's been fake dating with, and then comes to you broken, heartbroken. That's my thing, is Magnolia was heartbroken after she got with Tom because she felt so guilty, and like because BJ was the only person that she had been with, and the fact that like she saw them together, and that still didn't make he still took that woman up to his room and was with her. What is the freaking reason? Oh my gosh, you guys, like, I love this book, right? I love this book, but oh my gosh, I'm not rooting for him anymore. I am not rooting for BJ anymore. He makes me sick. He makes me want to vomit. I can't stand him. Am I rooting for Tom? Not really at the same time. I mean, he's cool and all, but like, I really don't think that Magnolia is like that into him, and he's not like that into her either. I guess like now they kind of are like a little bit more into each other, but like I don't know, I just don't see it for them, you know. But I can't stand BJ anymore. I cannot with good conscience go on and be like, they should just be together, they should be together, they should just be together. I can't do it. And the thing that makes me so upset is that like I understand what's going on. I understand everything that they're going through. Not every single thing, but I understand to like a really big degree what they're going through. I understand how hard it is to let someone go when you like are convinced that you freaking love this person and that this person is like your person, but nothing is working out because you both are so freaking toxic to each other, but you still can't let go. Like, I get it, you know? I get that like she really loves him and they have so much history together, and he really loves her and they have so much history together, but why they keep hurting each other the way that they keep hurting each other. And if I'm being so freaking honest though, BJ has no right to be hurt the way that Magnolia is hurt. And the fact that like Magnolia never does anything to hurt BJ until he hurts her. Like, so I'm not saying that she's completely justified in everything that she does. She's not. But I kind of get her side. Like, I kind of understand why she does the thing that she does. Because, I mean, to be perfectly honest, like, she's only doing things that she thinks in the moment is going to help her. But it's obviously not going to help her. But she thinks in the moment that it's going to help her to get past him. But then it never does because she always goes back to him. But this time she's not, like, really going back. But, like, the fact that he just wants to evoke any kind of emotion in her, like, especially even if it's that she's mad or she's upset or something, like, he just wants to make her feel something. And in theory, I guess that can sound cute, but, like, the fact that this is the girl that you're so in love with, this is the girl that you love, that blah, 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 you're so in love with her and everything, but you just want to see her hurting. No, I don't like that. I don't like it. BJ needs to get it together. He needs to get it together. Hey guys, I'm going to be doing a full review on the Magnolia Parks book. As I said, I just finished it right now. My heart is like shattered at this book. My heart has been ripped to shreds and I feel so heartbroken over everything that just transpired in this book, and I don't even know what to do with myself, to be honest. Like, I honestly, the last time I felt this way was after If He Had Been With Me. But at least I had If Only I Had Told Her to, like, jump into so that I could get some kind of closure, even though I don't think I'll ever be the same after reading that book. But I don't feel like I'll ever be the same after reading this book, because just the heartbreaking way that this ended, like, literally no words. Literally no words. I suspected the ending because I feel like she was giving a lot of hints about where the story was gonna go. Like, there was just like little things here and there that I was like, is that going to be the end? Is that what's going to happen? And it absolutely was. And oh my gosh, bro, like my mind is just like everywhere because I am like heartbroken. I'm heartbroken for Magnolia. I'm heartbroken for BJ. I'm heartbroken for both of them. It's so sad. It's so sad. And it's so... I feel like the part that's getting me so upset is that it was avoidable. It was so avoidable. Like, why? Why did we have to do this? You know, like, and I get it, right? I get that, you know, maybe the author was going for like, not everything has like this big explanation. Not everything has like this big story behind it. Sometimes people just do things and then they have to live with the consequences. Maybe that's where she was going with this. I don't really know. But like, I was not satisfied with why he did it. All of a sudden, he just had this random urge to have sex with her best friend, with someone who was supposed to be his friend as well, because they developed this big old bond whenever they were all together at the boarding school. Now all of a sudden you're just gonna have sex with her because she went to go check on you. Make it make sense. Make it freaking make sense. And the fact that he gave her so much crap about Christian. He gave her so much crap about Christian. They made her feel awful for going with Christian, being like, that's his best friend. That's his best friend. How could you do that? That's his best friend. The whole time. The whole freaking time, knowing that he was with her best friend. And her best friend was the one who didn't want to tell her. BJ wanted to tell her. BJ wanted to be upfront and say, I made a huge mistake and it was with your best friend. He wanted to tell her. Her best friend is the one that didn't want to tell her. And then Jonah, I don't know how to feel about him, but honestly, Loki, I don't like him. I don't like him. And I don't like BJ. And although I get that Magnolia made her mistakes, I feel like it pales in comparison. Because honestly, if he would have just been upfront with her and said, this happened with your best friend, it would have hurt, of course, the way it's hurting her now. But they would have been able to be done with each other. Like, they wouldn't have had to have this whole thing that they had, because she would have just been done. But no, he decided that he was going to cover for the best friend and not say anything, because he kept being told not to say anything. I'm so like, I'm just so upset. I'm so upset. I don't know. I'm just so upset. Okay, I'm going to be discussing the book heavily, so there will be some spoilers. So if you don't want any spoilers, don't watch. Sorry. But if that stuff doesn't bother you, then keep watching. Or if you've read the book and you're good with spoilers, then keep watching. Okay, so basically the two main characters are Magnolia Parks and BJ Valentine. They have known each other pretty much their whole lives, and they got together when they were 14. He cheated on her, and from then on, she could never forgive him, but she also couldn't let go of him, and he couldn't let go of her either. Both of them refer to each other as the love of their life, yet they can't come together. They can't come together. They can't work things out. They just can't do it. And it's sad. It's very sad. It's a really, to me, honestly, it was very heartbreaking. It was a very, very heartbreaking story, but also like really relatable. The rich, oh, we all have our own plane, shopping in Gucci thing is not relatable for me, but it's the feelings, it's the some of the situations that they go through that are what is relatable to me. Like, one of the ways that they can't let go of each other is that BJ will come and he will spend the night at Magnolia's house, and they'll sleep in the same bed, but they won't do anything. I've been in that situation. And I thought I was insane until I read it in this book, and I was like, oh, okay, so that is a thing, because I thought it was crazy, girl. But yeah, so that's what they do. And then like they still kind of act like they're a couple, but then like BJ will say or do something stupid, Magnolia will get mad, she does something to hurt him, he does something to hurt her, they go back and forth, and then they come back together, and then something happens, and then he hurts her, she hurts him, blah blah. So he has this thing like where he just sleeps with a bunch of girls. He doesn't care. He just keeps sleeping with them. But the whole time he's like, all I'm thinking about is Magnolia, and she's the love of my life. And the only reason I'm doing this is because it makes me hurt a little less whenever I do. Which is also why he gets into substances, and he uses very heavy. He also uses alcohol very heavy as well. So yeah, he definitely has his issues, obviously, but Magnolia, to get back at him, will get a boyfriend. So she'll end up dating, you know, whoever that she has coming after her or whatever. And that hurts him to the bone. So then he gets with more girls and does all this stuff, and it's just this never ending cycle of hurting each other and hurting each other and hurting each other. So they're kind of doing good at one point, and then they get into an argument. He leaves and he goes to a club, and some girl starts giving him a lap dance. Magnolia is like, you know what? Like, I really want to give him a chance. Oh, no, they don't get into a fight. He invites her to a club, but she says she doesn't feel like going. But then she was like, you know what? No, like, I'm going to go, and I'm going to give him a chance. So she goes, and then she sees that girl giving him a lap dance, and she was like, okay, I'm done, you know? Enter Tom England, who I would say is the third main character in this story. He ends up being the guy that she starts to fake date to help her get over BJ. She actually starts to develop like really like real feelings for Tom. Tom also needed the foxhole because he's in love with somebody he can't have, and but he also starts developing feelings for Magnolia, but they're still in love with the person that they needed the foxhole from, that they needed the foxhole for in the first place. So there is a trip that is like really significant in the story. BJ and Magnolia are like on good terms at this point. It seems like things are gonna happen for them again, all this stuff, but they end up going on a date, and her big thing is, can you please just tell me who you cheated on me with and why you did it? And he's like, I can't tell you who it was, and telling you why is not going to help you. But she's insistent. She's like, no, I want to know. I need to start processing this. If I can just process who it was and why you did it, then maybe I can finally move on from this, you know? The thing that irks me about BJ is that he doesn't care what kind of emotion that he evokes out of Magnolia. He just likes that he can get an emotion. If he can make her sad, he loves it, because he likes that he can make her feel that way because she loves him. Like, he knows that she's only reacting that way because she loves him. So he doesn't care if it's a negative reaction, if it's a good reaction, whatever. He just wants to make her feel something, and that irks me. It actually irks me. But he won't tell her, and then finally he says what the reason why he cheated on her is because he felt like it, because he wanted to. That's it. And she's like, I'm done with you, forget you, get out of my face, I don't want you, blah blah. Of course that's not true. Okay, of course that's not true. You know, they finally end up like talking about it and everything, and like BJ ends up like, you know, they separate, they have their times where they're not coming together. There's like this whole side thing of Magnolia dated BJ, one of BJ's best friends, who was in their both of their circle, this guy Christian, and Christian is also in love with Magnolia, but BJ hates that anyone else will be in love with Magnolia because he just wants her, and that's his girl, his love, the love of his life. Like, they both refer to each other that way, and then they don't act like it, and that's really frustrating. But yeah, so there's this whole thing going on where BJ just keeps getting mad every time he has to remember or hear about like the time whenever Christian and Magnolia were together. Anytime he thinks about it, he gets furious, and everybody's like against Magnolia and saying like, I can't believe he would do that with his best friend, blah blah, you know. And I'll be honest, like for most of the book, I was really on Magnolia's side. Like, I really was like, what are y'all mad about? Like, she's not even doing anything wrong, you know? Like, the only time that she would start getting with, like, get a boyfriend, which she was never even serious with any of them. The only time she would get a boyfriend is whenever she would see that BJ was out, like, being with all these other girls and being intimate with them, and she was hurt. So she would get a boyfriend to try to get over him. But of course, he's not going to let that happen. But then, like, they pointed out towards the end of the book how Magnolia was really, like, feeding off the attention of these men that were all in love with her. She was feeding off the fact that, like, she didn't want anything with Christian, but she knew that she could get him to do or tell her certain things because he's in love with her. Tom England ends up falling in love with her. BJ, of course, is in love with her. And I can't remember if it's Bridget, I think it is, her sister, that says, like, you basically, like, you didn't get the love and attention that you needed from our dad, but you got it from BJ. And now that you don't have BJ, or when you don't have BJ's attention, you have these other guys that you can, like, kind of pick out of your pocket, and you get an instant gratification of having somebody give you that attention that you're missing. And honestly, I've been there too. So call me Magnolia Parks. After some time, like, a lot of stuff happens, whatever. Jonah, which is BJ's best friend, tells him, you should just kiss Magnolia. You should just kiss her. See what happens. See if that changes anything. Because they had not kissed. They hadn't done anything. They would do, like, little things to, like, have little touches here and there. But she would not let it go any further than that. And he was too scared to try anything like that. Like, he could sleep with any girl that walked in front of him, and most of the time he did. But when it came to her, like, he had zero confidence about going up to her or kissing her or doing anything like that. Finally, he decides to kiss her, right? He does, and it sparks this whole thing where now she, like, really wants him, and she really wants to be with him. Something, I can't remember exactly what happens after that, like, it splits them up again. And he goes off on this, like, big tangent of, like, sleeping with, like, any girl that, like, any and every girl. He, like, invites a bunch of them to, like, a party, especially ones that she really hates, and, like, sleeps with them and everything. And then, like, they get into this argument because she realizes that he is taking a certain substance that he promised he would not take anymore, but he's been constantly taking it because that's how the being intimate with other girls, the taking the substances, the alcohol consumption that he was having was his way of dealing with his feelings, and how there was just so much intense feelings for Magnolia. That's the only way that he could deal with it, basically. And he promised her that he would not do that anymore, but she figures out that he is still doing it, and she gets mad. They get into a little altercation where he, like, actually physically pushes her, and it's like this whole thing. They say, no, this is real this time, I'm done, I hate you, blah blah. Of course, it's not the end, right? They go and they meet up at this very special place in their story, and from the past. And I believe it was where they were first intimate with each other, and they get intimate again for the first time since the 3 years, for the first time in 3 years since he told her that he cheated on her. They had not done anything from that point on until this point. They're on cloud 9. He's on cloud 9. She's on cloud 9. They're so happy because they finally have each other back. And it's actually really, like, sweet in a way, because he says, BJ, whenever him and Magnolia are finally back together and they go like out to dinner or whatever with their friends, and he's, you know, they come in, they announce, like, that they're back together, and she's sitting on his lap and everything, and then he says, forgot what it's like to be like this with her. What strikes me the most about it is that it feels like a weight off of my back. Getting to be with her like this, like getting to be with her like this, like not touching her, not holding her, not being with her, has had my whole holding its breath until now, and now everything is good. The way that he describes, the way that BJ describes his love for Magnolia is something so deep and so, like, just, I mean, literally, I imagine their souls, like, being tied into a knot. Because, like, the way that he describes his love for her and the way that she describes her love for him is just so intense. And it's so beautiful, but at the same time, it's so toxic. Because they are so immature. They're so immature. They don't know how to just be together, how to just be with each other, how to just get serious about one another. And the thing is, whenever they went to that specific place and had their little thing, they decided, you know, BJ was like, this is it, right? This is it, me and you, which was giving Finny and Autumn from If He Had Been With Me, the, okay, so we're together, right? Which, oh my gosh, we love Finny. But so he tells her that, and she was like, yes, you know, and he's like, I'm not going to be doing what I've been doing. No more girls. You're not going to be with Tom. And then she's like, yes. And then he's like, and no more bringing up when I cheated on you. Can we just move past that? And she says, okay. So they decide to put all of that behind them. They're not going to do that anymore. They're not going to keep bringing up old stuff. Nothing. Most of the book, when Magnolia talks about when BJ cheated on her, the way that she realized that he cheated on her was because when he came home, she says that when he came to her house, he smelled like somebody else. And she's like, he didn't even have to tell me. I already knew. Because she could smell it. And it was a specific smell. So they're in there. They're in that little dinner. She's sitting on his lap. It's a good time. Then Polly comes in. I don't really know how to say her name. I'll put it here on the screen. Your interpretation, however you're supposed to say that name, I don't know. But I've been calling her Polly. Polly comes in. She goes over, Magnolia goes over and tells her, me and BJ are back together. They like squeal, you know. And then that girl has Magnolia by the face. And then Magnolia has her hands over that girl's hands. And then she smells her hand, and she was like, oh, wow, you smell really good. And Polly, I think she tried it. She said, oh, really? She's like, thank you so much. I'm glad you noticed. Or something like that. And I was like, ew. But, like, she tells her that, and then she realizes. She was like, wait a minute, I know that smell. And she's like, it was her. And then whenever Magnolia says that, they all realize now that she knows who it actually was. And the sick thing is that other than Christian, who they've been giving the most crap to, and Henry, and Bridget didn't know. But other than those three, everybody else knew. Jonah was actually part of the cover-up because he walked in on them. And then BJ has the freaking audacity when he's telling the story to say, I know you want me to say that I felt horrible and that the whole time I was thinking of Magnolia, but I wasn't. I did it because I wanted to. Like, really? It was, Cringe. I hate it. Oh my god. It made me so mad. It literally made me so angry. I was like, are you joking right now? Like, are you actually kidding? Are you kidding? Please tell me you're kidding. Please tell me you're kidding. Like, the fact that all she did was follow him to his restroom and all of a sudden they jump on each other, like, why? And he says, I never even thought of her that way. I never, you know, but I just saw her and, like, what does he say? The fact that he says, I always want to think I was drunk. I was a bit, but not enough. Not how I should have been to take the edge off of what we did. So basically, he did it in somewhat of a sober mind. And then he says something about, like, she's like, are you okay? And then he's like, I don't know, having some kind of a panic attack or something. And then she's like, you're not, what's wrong? And then he says, I smelt her. New perfume? She nodded. Pleased that I noticed. Yeah, I got it last week. It's whatever. And then I grabbed her face and kissed her. Don't know why. Never thought about kissing her before. Just did it. I wasn't dead surprised when she kissed me back. I always thought she had a thing for me. We had this moment, like, what are we doing? Want to know the God honest truth? I wasn't thinking of Parks. All I was thinking about was what I wanted. It was what I wanted. I was choosing it. That was what I wanted to be doing, and I was doing it. And I had a girl in my hands that I wanted there, and we're touching and kissing, and that was what I wanted. He literally makes me want to puke. Like, he makes me want to vomit. That whole thing makes me sick to my stomach. And it's just so, like, it's so gross. It's just so disgusting. And that is why I have, like, I can see that the author really made it look and sound like BJ was just, like, absolutely 100% in love with Magnolia. But then I read that and it's like, but was he? Or is he? Like, he even says it. He's like, there was so many times where we could have stopped. There was so many times where we could have, before we went the whole way, we could have stopped, but we didn't, because it's what we wanted to be doing. I actually, like, want to cry because it's just so heartbreaking to think, like, that someone could sit here and say how much they love you, how much they love you, obsessed with you, want to be with you more than anything, and then in a moment everything can change and they decide, I want to be with this girl. I want to be intimate with her. To me, that's not love. I don't see how you can be intimate with somebody else if you're in love with another person. I don't see it. And just the sheer fact that he kept saying, this is where I wanted to be. I wanted to be here. I wanted to be with her. And then he just jerks Magnolia around about Christian and how awful she is for doing that. And all this time he had done worse. The other part that I didn't like about this book was that at the end she goes back to Tom. Tom actually tells her, when she tells him that she's back with BJ, he's going to hurt you again. But the thing is, I don't know if I'll be here when he does. I'm assuming he's there for her because it was only within a few hours. But the sheer audacity and disgustingness of the entire thing, and the fact that so many of them knew, the fact that Polly was somebody that Magnolia cried to over BJ, that she shared her heart with her, that Polly's actually the one who was convincing BJ not to tell Magnolia. So this whole time, she thinks she has an amazing boyfriend. She thinks she has an amazing friend, a best friend. And the whole time, they were never there for her. They were never her real friends. They were never actually loving her or in love with her. They didn't love her. Because if they did, they wouldn't have done that. And I need to calm down. Like, these are fictional characters, but it's just like the thought of the real life situation. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm putting in some of my own stuff and thinking about how I would feel and like things that I actually have been through that are similar. Like, the pain. Ugh. Oh my god, like, I can't. It's a lot. My heart breaks. My heart breaks for Magnolia and BJ. Because especially at the very end, whenever Magnolia is describing how BJ was crying when she was leaving, like the sheer and utter heartbreak that he had. Even though I think he's the scum of the earth, it breaks my heart for him. And my heart breaks for Magnolia. I could never, I don't think I'd ever get over that, you guys. Like, I really don't. Like, putting myself in the situation, I don't think that I would ever get over that. I don't think I could. But, I don't know. It's sick. It's sick that that's what they decided to do, and just didn't care because they wanted to be together in that moment. But why is what I don't understand. Why, if you're so in love with Magnolia, why did you want to be in that moment with Polly? And the fact that she's such a trash friend that she would do that to her makes me sick. It makes me sick. They're fictional characters. They're fictional characters. Stop getting in your feelings, okay? I'm trying to tell myself. So that was my thoughts on Magnolia Parks. Honestly, 5 out of 5 stars, 6 stars, 7 stars, 10 stars. Like, this was an amazing book. It evoked so much emotion. It was relatable in a lot of the topics and like the plots of the story. Like I said, I have like a million tabs on it for what, girl? I don't even know. But there was just so much in this book that broke my heart, made me kick my feet at sometimes, made me sad, made me think. It was just such an amazing book, you guys. It was such a good book, and I hope you guys read it. So if you have read it, comment, let me know. If you have not read it but decided to watch the spoilers and are now going to read it, let me know what you think. Tell me your thoughts. I would love to know. And like I said, if you have read it, comment and let me know what you think, how you felt about everything, how you felt about how it ended, all that stuff. So just let me know, you guys. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. You already know. And I'll see you next time. Bye.